Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. So again we will read the first verse. Rupam Dṛśyam Lochanam Dṛk Tadrishyam Dṛktumanasam Dṛśyati Vrittaya Sakshi Dṛgeva Natu Dṛśyate. So now, with this first verse, the journey to the self, the journey to the final seer is begun. See how the author, right from the beginning, is separating the seer from the seen. The entire creation, made of names and form, Rupam Dṛśyam, is looked upon as seen. Rupam means names and forms, whatever you see, whatever you visualize, is seen by the eyes. Now when it is said that Lochanam, the eyes are the seer, and the form is seen, here we have to include the other sense organs too. With the eyes, we see names and forms. So they are included. With the ears, we hear sound. With the sense of smell, we see what is there, we smell what is there in the creation. Similarly, the taste. So there are 5 kinds of objects in the world. 5 kinds of objects, comprising of name and form, sound, touch, taste, and smell. These are the 5 kinds of objects. And corresponding to them, there are 5 kinds of sense organs which are given to us. So here only one sense organ is mentioned, and that is Lochanam, that is eyes. That eyes see the names and forms. But along with that, we have to include all the other sense organs corresponding to other objects in the world. So, sound is heard, ear is the hearer. So, in this way, the entire creation is seen, is heard, is smelt, is tasted. And the organs are the one who sees and hears them. So that is seen, this is seer. Now watch. What is seen from one standpoint, eyes are the seer, from the standpoint of the objects. This is seen, this is seer. Eyes are the seer. But eyes themselves cannot be called the ultimate seer, because eyes themselves are also seen. So be with me. Eyes are also seen. They are the seers with respect to this, but they themselves are seen with respect to what? Mind. So what turns out to be seer with respect to the world? Eyes are seen, seer. But the same seer turns out to be seen Dṛśya with respect to mind. So mind sees the sense organs. It is because of the eyes that the world is seen, and then it is because of the mind that the eyes can see. See, this is how we have to go back. It is because of the mind that the eyes see, ears hear, sense of touches. Why? Because if the mind is elsewhere, then even though I may be looking at you, if my mind is not with you, then I won't see you. Even though I look at you, I don't see you. This happens often. We are looking for something in the wardrobe. Right? It is right there. My sari is right before me. But if my mind is in the class, then even though I'm looking at the sari, touching the sari, and still I won't find it. And I will keep looking for it. Why? Because anyatra mana, my mind is elsewhere, and so I don't happen to see. Same thing with hearing also. If my mind is elsewhere, even if you keep calling me, I may not hear. So, with sense organs are the seer, but they are also seen by the mind. So here, because of the mind, the organs see. Because of the organs, sense organs, the world is seen. So now we are coming back. We are coming back to the mind. Dṛśyaha dīvruttayah. The mind is the seer with respect to the sense organs. It is seer with respect to the sense organs, but the same mind becomes seen. How come? There are thoughts in the mind. Mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. One thought cannot be called the mind. But there is flow of thought, which will be explained. There is one thought, then there is another thought, then there is another. One thought is of anger, another thought is of jealousy, third thought is of competition. You distinguish between them. So all these different thoughts are called mind. And each and every thought is visualized, is also seen. I know I'm not in mood. I know I'm getting angry. I know I'm at peace with myself. How did you say? Why? You could say this because somebody is there who is distinguishing one thought from the other, which means even all the thoughts are also seen. Dṛśyaha dīvruttayah. Vruttayah means different thoughts. They are also seen. Di means of the intellect. Sometimes it is called intellect. Sometimes mind is called mind. Sometimes intellect. Sometimes chitta. All these are different names. Okay. So even the thoughts of the mind are seen. Who is seeing them? Sakshi. Sakshi means witness. Sakshi sees. So by the same token, now what should happen as the trend is going? The seen is seen by the seer. Eyes are the seer. Eyes turn out to be seen, and the mind is the seer. Mind also turn out to be seen, and there is a seer. So according to this trend, now the conclusion would be that even the seer, the Sakshi, should be seen. Sakshi, the witness, the consciousness who sees the mind. Whatever is going on in the mind is seen by the consciousness, called the witness. So as the trend is going on, this Sakshi should also be seen. Okay, who is the one who sees the Sakshi? There is someone behind the Sakshi who sees this Sakshi, this second Sakshi, sees this Sakshi, this seer. Then, who sees this one? This one sees this one. Then who sees this one? There should be one behind that. Then who will see that one? There should be one behind that. In this way, if you go, then the first Sakshi is still not established. Who is the first one? You can't arrive at, because this one because of that because of other one, that because of still another, that's because of still another one. This way the line will lead us to infinite regression. This is a defect, which means this is a logical defect, which means that even now the Sakshi itself, the final seer, is not established. And seer is not established. What does it mean? It means that the illuminator, from where the prakasha, from where you, because of which you see something, is not established. You understand? Because you cannot arrive at the first one. Now, supposing I ask you a simple question. Who is your father? You give me the name. Then he is also a son of another father. Who is the father of that father? Father of that father. Father of that father. The first father you cannot arrive at. You cannot pinpoint the first father, which means fatherhood is still not established. So, same thing can be applied to the first teacher. Who is the first teacher? Every teacher is a student of someone. So if the teacher is also a student, then the teacher will have his teacher, his teacher, his teacher, his teacher, his teacher. In this way, again infinite regression, which means you are not arriving at the first teacher, because every teacher is a student. So our Shastra says, which means you don't arrive at the teacher itself. So Shastra says that there should be a teacher who should not be a student. There should be a teacher who remains a teacher. He has never become a student. Teacherless teacher. He has to be that teacher who has never been a student. And that is why our Shastra says that the first teacher is who? Bhagavan himself. Dakshinamurti ji himself, or Narayana himself, Lord Shiva himself, Brahmaji himself. That is why in Upanishads we find that the first teacher somewhere is shown as Brahmaji, in some Upanishads as Brahmaji, in some Upanishads as Narayana, in some Upanishads as Shiva. They are all one, which means Bhagavan himself is the first teacher. Bhagavan himself is the first father, by the way. Bhagavan is the first one. He is that kind of a cause which has no cause beyond him. That cause which is not an effect. He is that kind of a cause which is not an effect. Similarly here, the author has stated right in the first verse that eyes are the seer with respect to the objects. Eyes themselves are seen with respect to the mind which is the seer. Mind itself is seer with respect to the eyes, but mind itself is seen with respect to consciousness. But then, when we come to the consciousness, Sakshi, there is no seer beyond him, is the final Sakshi, who is not seen, who is never seen, always remains what? Seer. Always, Sakshi means one who witnesses. We'll look into that as we go further. But here the point to be noted, because in the very first verse, author has given everything. The entire text will expound upon this. But in this first verse itself, author has given the entire crux of the whole text. Seer is the seer. He never becomes seen. Dṛg-Eva natu drishyate. There is a reason behind this. Why? Because whatever becomes seen, the seen itself shows that it is dependent. Whatever is seen cannot reveal itself on its own. To know this object, or any object for that matter, You require what? Light. You require the seer to illumine the scene. Seer is required to illumine the scene, which means this object which is seen is dependent. It cannot reveal itself. It reveals itself due to the eyes. Okay, then eyes are independent. Okay, can we say that? No, they are also not independent. They are seeing due to the mind. Okay, then mind is independent. No, mind is also not independent. Mind sees because of the consciousness. Okay, consciousness also independent or dependent? Independent. Rest of them are all dependent because they depend for their illumination upon some other source. Understood? Understood. This is seen because of the eyes, not on its own. Eyes are also seen. They are able to illumine this because of the mind. Mind also illumines the eyes and sense organs because of the Sakshi. So then Sakshi also, the witness also illumines because of another witness. No, the line stops there. Sakshi drugeva natu drishyate. It is never seen, which means it is not dependent. It doesn't depend upon anything for illumination. Self-illuminating, self-revealing, and that which doesn't depend upon others to illuminate itself is the final reality. So, that is the truth, which is not dependent. So, right in the first verse, author has pointed out that this Sakshi is independent. It is self-revealing, self-effulgent, doesn't require any other light to illumine it, and therefore it is the truth. That which is dependent is not the truth. In somewhere it is said, yad drishyam tad jadam. Whatever is seen is jadam. Jadam is a technical word. Jadam means inert. This is called jadam. Jadam means it cannot illumine itself, nor can it illumine others. What is the definition of jadam or inert? Jadam is that which cannot illumine itself, nor can it illumine others. So now, by this token, what all comes in the class of jadam, inert? Everybody will have to, I will try to verify whether you are with me or not, by in between asking some questions. Everything comes into the class of jadam. How come? Because nothing illumines itself, plus they do not illumine others. That is called jadam. So you will say the mind, eyes illumine this, but my eyes themselves are illumined by the mind. Okay, mind illumines the eyes. The mind itself is illumined by Sakshi. Sakshi illumines everyone. But is it illumined by someone else? No. So, it is not jadam. It is not inert. It is the only thing which is conscious. You remember the verse which we sing in Arati? Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti, kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Very beautifully Kathopanishad says, Mundaka also says, na tatra suryo bhati. Sun cannot illumine that consciousness. That consciousness which is here, which is not illumined, which is the final Sakshi. Sun cannot illumine, neither moon can illumine, nor can constellations or stars can illumine the consciousness. Why? Because it illumines, and because of its illumines, the rest of the so-called illuminating factors sun, moon, etc., illumine the world because they derive illumination from this consciousness. Understood? So the final and ultimate and the only source of illumination, of light, is consciousness. It is not illumined by anyone, but it is because of this one that others are illumined. Now, had it been illumined by others, what would have happened? It would have been in the case of Jadam. You would require something to illumine consciousness. So consciousness is illumined because of another one. Then this is nothing, this is Jadam. We go to that. That one also illumined by someone else. In this way, as I said, you cannot arrive at the final one. So consciousness is never seen. It is always the seer. Always the seer. Okay? This much is shown. Now, we proceed further. Now, the first part of the first verse. See, look at the first verse. Drupam, Drishyam, Lochanam, Drug. Names and forms are seen and eyes are the seer. This much part is being now explained in the second verse. Come on, we'll read the second verse. Neela Pita Stula Sukshma Rasva Dirgadi Bhedatah Nana Vidhani Rupani Pashye Lochanamekadha. So Vedanta calls for this kind of subtle thinking because we are looking for the truth, and truth is hidden, truth is subtle. So we will have to think and look for consciousness in this way. Now see, the first, as I said, the first part of the verse is being explained. The author is saying that what you see are many and varied. Now always, author is trying to show us this principle that seen will be many, whatever is seen can be many, can be varied, but with respect to that, the seer will be one and unchanging. Okay? Remember that. So now forms. Forms are many. How many types? It can be Neela, Pita, Sthula, Sukshma, Rasva, Dirgadi Bhedatah. What you see can be of this different types. What you see can be yellow. Neela means blue. Pita means yellow. Sthula means gross. Sukshma means subtle. Rasva means short. Dirga means long. So this many examples are given. What you see can have these different things, different colors. But with respect to that, the eyes are seeing them. Eyes are seeing orange, blue, yellow, short, gross, long. So many things eyes are seeing. But eyes remain the same. So, Nana Vidhani Rupani. Forms are many and varied, changing also. This is orange now, tomorrow it will fade and will become pitch color. That way, what you see keeps on changing also. Even as you see, it keeps on changing. So forms are varied, forms are many, they keep on changing. But that which sees the forms, Pashyet Lochanam Ekada, eyes remain same with respect to what it sees and sees them. So there is no change in the eyes when it's seeing different colors. Supposing eyes are seeing orange color, eyes don't become orange. When eyes see blue color, eyes don't become blue. Eyes see short things, big things, there is no corresponding change in the eyes. Remains the same. The seer remains steady. Seer remains stable with respect to what is seen. This is what the author is trying to say. This applies to all other organs also. Ears may hear different kinds of sounds. Ears don't change. It remains the same. So, with respect to this, respect to what is seen, which keeps on changing, the seer remains stable and unchanging. So we are coming towards the seer. Author is showing the characteristics of what a seer is. It cannot be varied, it cannot be changing. Okay. So, remaining same eyes, ears, sense of today we may eat sweet things. In one meal itself, there can be different taste, bitter, sour, sweet, but the tongue doesn't change. It remains the same. So, seer can be many, seen can be many and varied, seer remains the same. Okay, further. Now, author is talking about the second part. Tad-drishyam druktu manasam. The eyes are also seen. And who is seeing them? Mind. So now, author is now talking about the organs which see, about them. Verse number 3. Andya mandya patutveshu netra dharmeshu chaikadha sankalpayen manashrotra tvagadau yojyatamidam. See, again. Now, eyes were shown to be steady, non-changing, with respect to the forms. But, with respect to the mind, which is seen by which sees the eyes. See, objects are seen by the eyes. But eye itself, E-Y-E, itself is seen by the mind. So, this eyes, there is change in the eyes also. But the seer, the mind doesn't change. So, example is given for that. See, the eyes can be andya, mandya, patutveshu, netra dharmeshu. These are the different netra dharma. Netra dharma means characteristics of the eyes, netra. When it is said netra, you should understand other sense organs too. Eyes can be of these three types. My seeing, my sight, eyesight can have these three. What? Andya. It can be totally blind. Eyes can be totally blind. Cannot see anything. One. Another is mandya. Mandya means it can see something generally. You cannot note when you start aging. Then what happens? You begin to see, continue to see, but then time comes when I need specs for this. I cannot see this specifically. I will have to come closer, wear certain type of glasses and all that. Which means now the eyes are seeing in general, but not specific. So it is called mandya. Then third one, patutveshu. Patutveshu can be very, very, eyes can see each and everything in detail. It can be very, very sharp. Some children and some people's eyes are very sharp. They won't miss any detail. So the eyes can be, sense organs can be of these three types. Either totally blind or mandya, little dull, or it can be very sharp. But the one who sees them, who sees this? The mind. The mind which sees these different characteristics of the eyes remains what? Sankalpayen manaha. Sankalpayet manaha. Manaha sees. Sankalpa here doesn't mean resolve. Here the word sankalpa means mind sankalpayet. Mind sees this different dharmas of the eyes remaining what? Same. Remaining same. When you see when a blind person, supposing, doesn't see anything, mind knows, I don't see anything. I know I don't see anything. Mind knows. So mind is not blind. Eyes are blind. Okay. When you see something in a very dull, you don't know, you can't see anything very, each and every specific details you don't see. That also mind knows. I cannot see the minute embroidery that is done there, minute details of the paintings. You say that, which means mind knows. I am not able to see that. That also mind knows. That means mind is not dull. Okay. And you see each and everything specifically, very sharp. Some people's eyes and other sense organs are very sharp. Everything will be clear. The mind knows that also. That means mind remains the same. So we are arriving at the dharma of the seer and seen. How is the seer? Seer does not change with respect to seen. This is the rule that we are deriving from the observation, that the seer does not change. Seen keeps on changing. Seer remains same with respect to that. And here the author said, Shrotra tvagado yojyatam idam, which means the rule that we are saying about the eyes, may you apply that to other sense organs also. That ears can also be seeing, cannot be hearing at all. Time comes then people cannot hear. Or hear something in general. So sometimes in class, some students come and sit very close to the speaker so that they can hear. And sometimes some people's ears are very sharp. You can hear everything. Others may not even know, and they may speak, and then this person knows everything. So all these variations and difference characteristics are found in the seed, not in the mind. So further, now our journey is going inner. Now we talk about the mind. The mind which remains stable with respect to sense organs, itself is also changing. Mind is also changing. Come on, verse number 4. Kama sankalpa sandeho Shraddha shradde drutitare Hrir dhrir bhirityavemadin Hrir dhrir bhirityavamadin Bhasayatyekadhachitihi. See now, how beautifully author has worked out the whole exercise. Now he says, in the coming to the mind which remains the steady with respect to the sense organs, the same mind has very different thoughts, as I said in the beginning, mind is nothing but flow of thoughts, different flow of thoughts. Which are the different kinds of thoughts? So here some examples are given. Which are the thoughts? One thought is kamaha, means desire. Another thought is given the name sankalpaha. Sankalpa means resolve. I made a sankalpa to attend the Vedanta course. That is sankalpa, resolve. So one thought can be called desire. Another sankalpaha means resolve. Sandeho means doubt. There can be doubt or no doubt. There can be doubt or lack of doubt. Then shraddha, ashraddhe. There can be trust, faith or lack of it. At some given point of time, my mind may have faith in something, trust in something. Next minute, no trust. So Shraddha, Ashraddha. Similarly, Dhruti, Itare. Patience may be there, fortitude may be there. So these are all different kinds of thoughts coming in the mind, arising in the mind. Every moment, mind will have some or the other thoughts. And these are the different thoughts of the mind. Understand, you know, you can distinguish one thought from the other, one mood from the other, one impulse from the other. You can distinguish. You know your mind. You say, I know my mind. My mind is restless. I am at peace. How you say this? Somebody is seeing this. So, these are the different thoughts. Again, further, more thoughts are given in the second line. Hrihi. Hrihi means shame. You know, you may be shy of something. In your own, if in your own mind there is some thought which you don't like, no, this is not becoming of me. Like you may want to hurt someone, then immediately you feel very, you are not happy with yourself. Oh my God, what am I thinking? That is called shame. You are shameful of that. So hrihi, then dhihi. Dhihi means what? I have made a resolve and I have come to a conclusion about that. That is called dhihi. Then, bihi means fear. You may be afraid. There may be thought of fear in your mind. Dhihi. Iti evam adin. These are the different thoughts occurring in the mind. Bhasayati, important. Now, bhasayati ekada chitihi. Chitihi means consciousness. Now here, for consciousness, feminine word is used. Because all these thoughts, hrihi, dhihi, bihi, all those are feminine. So, Brahman or the reality, for reality you may use the masculine word. For reality you may use neuter word. For reality and the ultimate truth, you can even use a feminine word. So don't ask me what is the gender of the reality. It's beyond any gender. Neither woman nor man. And the truth of both. Why chitihi is used? Chiti means consciousness. Why that word is used? Because the thoughts are he, dhihi, they are all feminine. And all these words which are used here, are coming from a different source. These are the words which are used in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad while talking about the mind. When Brihadaranyaka Upanishad talks about the mind, it uses these words. These are the different thoughts occurring in the mind. That is why author is, straight away using them. And says, all these different thoughts are illumined by chitihi, by consciousness remaining what? Ekadha. No change. No change in consciousness. No change in the seer when it illumines the scene. This is the rule. There is no corresponding change in the seer or in the illuminator when it illumines the objects. Thoughts are many in the mind. Every time consciousness is illumining them. So we may think that consciousness is also colored by what it illumines. No. It remains ekadha, just remains one, just remains changeless. There is no change at all. So we have come to consciousness, which is changeless. The other, tell me, were the other seers changeless? Were they changeless? Who are the seers so far? Which seers have we come across so far? No. First, eyes, then mind. 2 seers. They themselves were changeless with respect to seen. But themselves were changing with respect to their illuminator. Eyes remained the same with respect to form. This changed, then this one came. This is brown, this is blue. Eyes did not become brown, eyes did not become blue. But the same mind, or the same eyes, were dull, sharp, etc. That change was there. But who was watching that? Mind. Mind was changeless. Again the mind, which was changeless, and one with respect to the sense organs, itself changes. Itself is in a state of flux. And who is watching all this? Not watching, but illuminating. There's this light, There was one class, and before that there was meditation. Then the second class. This remains the same. Whether meditation goes, or arti happens, or one class, another class, whatever. Remaining the same, this light illumines. So, big things are being told, revealed about who? About whom? The seer. And which seer? The other seers were changing because they themselves were seen. But we are talking about this seer consciousness which is not changing. Now more is talked about this consciousness in the 5th verse. Nodeti nastyametyesha na vruddhim yati na kshayam svayam vibhatya thanyani bhasayet sadhanam vina. Now, beautifully, the author is revealing facts about this seer, consciousness, or chitihi. Chitihi is consciousness. Call it chitihi, call it chaitanyam, call it chit, whatever. Brahman, Atma, anything. It all means the same. Now, important fact is revealed. No deti na astameti esha. Esha is a pronoun. Esha is a pronoun. Now, this pronoun is used when earlier the noun is mentioned. Some we all the time do not keep on calling by names. The Swamini Paraprajnananda came, Paraprajnananda is eating, Paraprajnananda is going. Then afterwards, once you give the name, then you use she is coming, she is going. So, noun is replaced by the pronoun. So, pronoun can be used only when earlier the noun is mentioned. If the noun is not mentioned at all, you cannot use pronoun, because in that case you would not know who this she is. If I straight away, she is coming, she is going, and you do not know who that she is, then you cannot use the pronoun. But here, in this verse, pronoun is used. And what is that pronoun? Esha. This pronoun. No, na udeti, na astameti esha. Esha means this one. Now this one doesn't arise, doesn't set. Who this one is? Who does it refer to? Pronoun refers to which noun? Chitihi. Very good. It refers to the chitihi in the 4th verse. One who was referred to as chiti is being now referred here as esha. This one. This one means this lady. Who is this lady here? Consciousness. Not a lady, but feminine word is used. Esha, what does it say about it? Doesn't arise. Na udeti means doesn't arise, doesn't set, doesn't grow, doesn't dissipate, doesn't become less. And so many things are said about the nature of consciousness in this 5th verse. And whenever we say consciousness, understand what it means. It is about I. What we are talking about is nothing but the nature of I. I am consciousness. So I am being unfolded, whom we are not familiar with this nature of I. When I say I today, I mean a woman. I mean a speaker. I mean a talker. I means a hearer. That is not the real nature of I. Remember, we have superimposed the nature of you upon I. And now what process is going on? Removing what belongs to the you. What belongs to the body is getting removed. This is the process of apavada. Apavada means negation. So here we are confronted. Author is bringing us back. This is coming home. This is really coming home. The nature of consciousness is being revealed. How is it? Na udeti. Doesn't arise, doesn't set. It remains swayam vibhati. In the next line it is swayam vibhati. It shines on its own. Not because of anything. Shines on its own. Svibhati ata anyani bhaset. Plus illumines others. And shines on its own sadhanam vina. Without any help. No help. No illumination is required. You will not find this anywhere in the world. Think, huh? You will not find this kind of illumination, self-revealing thing, self-illuminating, self-effulgent anywhere. In the entire because the entire creation is revealed by others. Revealed by this one. And this is not revealed by anyone. It is on its own. We are talking about our true nature. See, you may wonder, how does this Swaminiji apply in our life? This all looks like academics. No, far from that. This is not academics. We don't care whether it is illumination, consciousness, or chiti rises or doesn't rise, sets or grow. We may not understand this, but when not knowing this, we suffer in life. When it says it doesn't rise, which means what? In technical language, there is no prak abhava. When it says it doesn't set, in technical language, it means pradvamsa abhava. I will explain to you in day-to-day, in simple words. For each and everything, anything, take this body itself. Was it there before a certain time? Everybody has birthday. My birthday falls on such and such date. June 13th, June 14th. Supposing I say my birthday is on June 14th, then the astrologer will ask the time. What time? 11 a.m. Which means what? Before 11, before 14th, I was not there. I was not there. That shows that there was a time when I was not. Which is called prak abhava. Prak abhava, which means I was not at a given time. Okay? And supposing somebody dies, say at a given time, 7 o'clock. Then what does it mean? After 7, the person is no more. Right? After 7, the person is no more. Which means what? After 7, destruction. Pradvamsa abhava. It is called pradvamsa abhava, which means not being there after a certain time. Not being there. And prak means earlier I was not there. Does it apply to consciousness? It applies to every other thing. This object was not there at a given time. Before it became a yawn in the factory, and then it got manufactured in this way, it was not there. And even when I bought it, even before I bought it from the shop, I did not have it. So everything is not there at a given time. After a certain time also, this will not remain. This applies, not being there before and not being there after, applies to each and every object of the world. Nobody is free from that. That means we are bound by time. Time is a factor which binds us. Okay. The entire creation, the creation itself, which is in this form, 14 billion years ago, perhaps this was not there. Creation was not there. Which means what? It was not there. And scientists are saying that the creation is expanding and then it will contract. Which means a time will come. We will not see that time in our lifetime. Even others, the next generation, few generations also will not see. But a time will come when it will begin to contract. Which means the creation which we see in this form will not be there. In short, it was not there at a given time, will not be there at a given time. Understood? Understood? This much? So, author is saying that this coming and going, not being at one time and not being after a time, may apply to everything in the creation. Everything. Creation itself. Brahmaji also comes into this. Vishnu also comes in that. Shankara also comes in that. Name a thing and it comes. Why? Because it has a form, it has birth. Whenever birth is, death is. Nobody is immortal. So, what about Chiti? Chiti also will come, was not at a certain time, will not be after a certain time. So then birthday of Chiti and expiry also of Chiti. Chiti. No. This may apply to other things, and it does apply to everything, but not to Chiti. Thank God, this comes as news to us. Arjuna did not know this. That is why he was crying and sorrowful in the battlefield. They will all die. I will die. I will be the killer. They will get killed. What about Bhishma Pitama? What about Dronacharya ji? What about my people? Bhagavan said, shut up. Bhagavan said, Natve vaham jatu nasam. Natvan neme janadipaha. What are you talking about? Bhagavan says, pointing to himself, he's talking to Arjuna like this. Natve vaham neither you nor I were not, it is not that we were not there at a given time, will not be at a given time. No, we are always there. He is pointing to Bhishma Pitama. He is pointing to Dronacharya ji, who are the weak points of Arjuna. And he is saying, don't think that these kings were not at a given time. Points to himself. Don't think that I was, Lord Krishna himself pointing to himself, that I was not there at a given time. Arjuna, you were also, no. All of us are always there. But I see people dying. Still Bhagavan says, we are all always there. Which means what? One part of us, which is subject to coming and going, will come and go. One part. Which is that part? The body. The subtle body too will come and go. What will not come and go? Atma, consciousness. Call it Chitihi. Not birth, not subject to coming, not subject to going. The person may disappear. The body disappears. But the stable aspect, which is consciousness, doesn't go anywhere. That is why it is always there. Arjuna, what are you crying for? You cannot stop the body from going in any way. You can never stop. However hard you try. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. One who is born is definite to go. And one who goes, dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. Bhagavan says, one who goes, if they don't have knowledge of what? Of Chitihi. Of I. That I am not subject to coming and going. I am indestructible. If you don't know that, and if you don't abide in that, And if that knowledge is not firm, what will happen? That is natural. Natural consequence. And so this may sound technical. This may sound tough. But this, as I said, this is not academics. This is our life. This pertains to I. There is no choice in knowing myself as this. Either I know it very well as what it is, or come and go. From this birth to that birth to there to different realms. Struggling, asking, begging, dependent upon my karmas. That is why it is indispensable. We have to know I. How it doesn't come. Body comes, not I. No udeti, no, there is no death. Death is of the gross body, not of Atma. It always is. So we write, may his soul, may his Atma, may he live in peace. He is always in peace. Atma is always in peace. Peaceful only. We write all this keeping Jiva in mind. That also will come. We'll come to that. It is coming. But the Atma doesn't grow. Doesn't become less. No illness. If there is illness, with time, I begin to shrink, or put on. Aging is where? Atma is not 70, 75, old, nothing. Not young, not an adolescent, not an infant, nothing. Always the same. And it shines, and rest of the world shines after that. Just as sun shines, moon shines after the sun. Similarly, Atma shines, Chitihi shines, illumines the entire creation. So, and nobody can illumine me. I am independent. This should be the knowledge and perception about I. Then you can be confident. Then you can be free from grief. Otherwise, no freedom. Why? Because I consider myself as dependent. What, Swamini? I am growing now. I am aging now. BP is there. Diabetes is there. I can come only when somebody brings me. This is all there. I am not denying. But if I don't identify with all this, then I remain. Who can be greater than me? I am the one who illumines the sun also. The entire creation is because of me. And look at my understanding today of myself. Hapless, helpless, Dina. I'm Dina. Dina means helpless. I feel very meek, helpless, hapless. This is all ignorance. This is all ignorance, avidya. What have you done when you feel like this? You are superimposing what does not belong to I upon I. When we have long face, means sorrowful, grief-stricken, that means what? We are allowing ignorance to take over us. So, we have to all the time be very conscious. And moment grief comes, moment sorrow comes, moment, I feel lowly, remove that. There and there. By saying what? No deti, nastameti, I don't set, I don't arise. I'm always the same, always the same. So with I we attach birth, I we attach death, with I we attach age, with I we attach all this, which is not there. By saying it doesn't come also, but I feel. Thank God I is not really becoming like that. But I do feel. And feeling is as good as being small. When you feel small, you are small. At any moment, you are what you take yourself to be. Understand? Regardless of who you really are. You are really consciousness. But if you feel small, at any given time, you are small. What you think that you are. That is why the need for this knowledge. So, I am really the most independent one, the most unique. Nobody like me, nobody equal to me, the only one. This is what is revealed about Chitihi. Now, important. Before we go to next verse in the next class, I am giving the background. If Atma is like this, see, from so far, if we recap, the Chiti or the consciousness, which is the final seer, is beyond birth and death and all this, doesn't grow, doesn't become less. So, Swaminiji, there is no samsara, no sense of smallness in Atma. It cannot be. Understood? From this much talk, we can easily arrive at the conclusion that there is no sense, there is no samsara. Samsara means feeling low, feeling depressed and all. It is not the life of becoming, being born and dying and all that. Okay, from this we come to understand that Atma cannot have that. Okay. But then, look at, maybe the samsara is here. Smallness may be here in the body, in inert things. But we have already said that inert is inert. Jadam. Jadam doesn't shine on its own and cannot illumine others also. This doesn't shine, this is not standing on its own legs, nor does it help others to be there. Which means there can be no pain in that which is Jadam. In that which is Jadam, inert, dependent, there can be no pain. This is Jadam. The body also falls in the same category. So there cannot be samsara there. There cannot be samsara in what? In the self also. In Atma also. Because it is full. So no samsara here. No samsara in the body which is Jadam. Then who is feeling this? Now the question is, who is feeling this? And still, in spite of all that you say, I still feel limited. The question was, I don't experience. Which means there is someone who suffers. Someone who still feels wanting, feels less, feels that he is being born and I will die. And body will die also. And subtle body will continue to remain also. Where is all this happening? Moot question is, who is the Jiva? If Atma is not Jiva, Atma is not samsari, the body is not samsari, mind is not samsari, then who is the samsari? It's a natural, obvious question now. Who is the samsari? There are only two things, as we said, Purusha and Prakriti. Atma and Anatma. Atma is not samsari. Anatma is not samsari. Then who is samsari? No third fellow. So, still there is. So now brilliantly, brilliant, that is why this text, even though difficult, I have taken up. Even it is little difficult. I see this. But here are the answers to many of our questions. The question is then, who am I? Who is this samsari? I now know that, okay, I am consciousness. But who is transmigrating from one to another? The answer is here. It is this. Still there is the fellow called samsari. Who is he? Now we will talk in the next class. He is the union of this consciousness and inert matter. We will discuss that. But how did it come about? That we will see. Because Shastra says there is no jiva at all. There is no reason for grief. But still I feel grief. I feel sorrowful. Why do you feel? Because something has happened. So from being Brahman, today I look upon myself as jiva. Even though I am Brahman, consciousness, which is everywhere, still I feel I am a small jiva. Who is this jiva? Who is this jiva? Who feels all this? Jiva means individual, the ego. Who is that? So that is brilliantly explained here. That is called prakriya. Where this is being explained, it is called prakriya, or a model or a methodology. That is given here. So just you can read if you want in the afternoon. Just spend time. The notes are given. Read little bit. Or if you think that you will get confused, don't read. I will, because you may get more confused. But this is going to be explained. Why I feel the way I feel. Even though the reality is what you said, consciousness. And still I feel this way. Why? Where is samsara? Where is samsara? That will be shown. Huh? So that we will be doing in the next class. Om Purnamatah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Each class may require cups of coffees. It means it is, you have to be alert, that's all. I am making it very simple, and hopefully, I'm sure everybody is getting, you are all with me, but it definitely calls for attention.
Swamini, I
Haji.
want to make one point.
Yes.
I'm not convinced that my mind and body is not a samsara. Can you explain it? But
It will come. It is going to
I
come.
know where you are heading. But at this point, I still think it's that my mind and my body
Huh.
is suffering or is enjoying.
No, they are all inert.
It's not.
It will. They are all inert. Body is also inert. Mind is also inert. Yes, it is inert. It appears to be sentient. It's due to something else. Definitely mind is subtler. Definitely mind looks more sentient than this and the body. But still inert. In inert also there are two classes, two types. One is subtle, another is gross. One is gross, another is subtle. That subtlety is definitely there, but that makes it vulnerable. We will talk about this. Is due to something else. So it will come. Definitely this question will be answered. And this needs to be answered. Otherwise some questions will never go. Never go. So just have everybody, it will, some part, as I said, not difficult, but it will call for little more attention. If we had a blackboard, I would help. But with this live streaming, we can't do that also. But otherwise, with all the diagrams and everything, we can make it very, very clear. Anyway, we'll try our best. Dakshinamurti ji will be with us. Teachers will be with us. Okay, thank you. Namaste, how are you?